Hi Scorpio, Happy New Year. Welcome to your January 2017 reading. And in addition to doing the monthly expanded forecast, I'm also going to take a look at 2017 at a glance. So I'll pull 4 cards for the 4 quarters of the year, and we'll take a look and see what kind of opportunities and challenges are coming through for you. Now, one thing that I always like to begin with is channeled information. And for you, the message of hidden blessings came through. What does that mean? That means that there's no accidents in life. And I'm not actually reading from the Morgan Greer deck, but I pulled this card because when I got that message, this image came to me as well. Sometimes I'll get tarot cards as the guided information here. But you'll notice that there's a hand cranking this Wheel of Fortune. Sometimes things are going well, sometimes things are not going well. But the idea is that you're being moved in the right direction, even when sometimes it feels like you're taking a tumble or it feels like there's a block. So trust in the overall direction of the universe and believe that some of the challenges that are coming your way are actually a blessing in disguise. All right, so that's the beginning of the message. Let's go ahead and take a look at the full reading for this month. As I said, this will be an expanded forecast, which includes health, wealth, love, and destiny. And then we're going to go ahead and take a look at the whole year for you as well. Okay. That's really interesting. That I was sensing Wheel of Fortune. We got the wheel as your center card. So it wasn't just an accident that was coming through. So let me pull all cards here in the Celtic Cross. And then after that, I'm going to, as always, take a look at your catalyst. So we know how all of this comes together. But it looks like career, money, and changes are going to be very prevalent for you. There's going to be some shifts happening. So for your catalyst card, I'm going to use this deck. Give it one more good shuffle. And for those of you who aren't familiar with what the catalyst card is in respect to my readings, I use this as one of the most important cards. It gives me focus. It helps me understand what you need to focus on for this month. And the interesting thing for you is it says follow the leader. I also see this as listen to the signs or look at the sort of guideposts along the way. Because you'll notice there's actually, there's some birds here, but this to me is actually more about a path. So what you could be experiencing over the course of January is a tug of war or a situation that's coming up that's going to challenge you to either follow the lead or set out on a new path, because the wheel was in reverse here, and as I mentioned, hidden blessings. So there'll be some times when it seems like fortune or misfortune with the wheel. What I like though is the wheel typically has your best interest at heart. The reversal means that there's going to be a perceived setback or delay, but listen really, really with your heart and with your intuition, and I think you're going to be able to discern what the opportunity is in this potential setback or delay, because the energy of the Wheel of Fortune is still there, and so I don't want us to lose sight of that. In fact, it looks like many of you have been working really hard over the course of the last year to create some new opportunities. And as we're looking at this month, you may just have to say no or watch one of these. You might have too much on your plate. If there's too much going on, sometimes you have to let people know that it's not possible. If they don't listen, sometimes you have to illustrate it by falling behind. And that's some of what's coming through with this Two of Pentacles. It's reversed, and it's showing me that you've done a lot to show that you're worth being appreciated, being promoted, being paid well, but there may not be the resources or there may not be the recognition wherever you're at right now. And this really does read as career and money more than anything, but the Two of Pentacles in reverse can also be about not managing your time wisely or not managing your money wisely. So it doesn't have to relate directly to a job. It can also just be about resource management and time management. One thing you want to be very careful of this month is your ability to be receptive to new feedback and ideas. Whenever the Knight of Wands is in reverse, it shows a tendency to want to act with, what's the best word for this? It's hasty, basically, and also can be a little bit stubborn. So what I would love for you to do to pull this more upright is to, and this came through for another sign too, but practice your active listening skills. Check when you're saying something to someone to make sure that they understand, and vice versa. Say, hey, I think I heard you say this, or do you understand what I'm saying? And this is going to help avoid miscommunications. The other thing with this card in reverse is making sure that you're considering all options. So this isn't always about just listening. It could be about researching. So looking to see what else is out there, making sure that you're getting what you need to be more decisive, because I can see a little bit of vacillation or being on the fence of making the next move. I think ultimately you're going to be able to overcome whatever these challenges are. We have the Page of Wands here in the near future. So that's showing over the next few weeks and leading into February and March. It's time to move forward. And any sort of pause or delay is going to serve you rather than acting hastily. Okay? As we look at your ego, there is a lot of questions and uncertainty about the next few months or the next year, like what's happening, feeling like a lot of things are going either too fast or too slow. And in reality, you're really in a good space. When I look at your deep past, you have the Ace of Pentacles. When I look at your resource, you have the Three of Pentacles. And so I'll pull this down again so you can see it. So this is your past. This is your resources. This is your ego weighing in on this. I feel like there's unnecessary stress happening. The only thing that could be adding to this is perhaps you've expressed a very real need for more balance either in your money or your time. And if you're not getting that recognition, perhaps there's someone else in your life. It could be a strong a strong fire sign, or just a very sort of, I guess, stubborn person is the best way I can put it as well. If this isn't you, then it's up to you to wait, try to make a case for yourself in the best way possible, and try not to aggravate things. Temperance is going to be your best friend this month. This Follow the Leader card can also be about following protocol. We don't always like to follow the rules and regulations of wherever we work, or sometimes it can be more about family expectations and you don't want to rock the boat. This is saying this month it would be better to try to keep the peace if you can. It may be impossible, and if that's the case, you'll become the leader. You'll have to sort of step out and call your own bluff and try something new. But if you're able to temper it, then I think that you'll be able to get most of what you want. The stepping down from a knight to a page is not that big of a sort of like shift. So it's about compromise this month more than anything. Ultimately, excuse me, with the Five of Swords reverse, this is about not being able to get everything you want, but getting, again, most of it. So be careful in communications and negotiations. Be willing to take a loss, a small loss, if it means overall you get most of what you're looking for. Let's go ahead and expand this out to look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. We'll start first with health. And your health card for January is to basically reduce caffeine. And I would also say this has to do with sleep, because when you are over caffeinated, you also tend to be burning the candle at both ends and working really late. So I want you to try to pull out caffeine out of your diet. I would extend this also to include healthy sleeping habits so that you have as much energy as possible. Let's take a look at your, for those of you that are caffeine free and are sleeping okay, this is also about making sure that you're not just not burning yourself out, because the caffeine card comes up when people are kind of like working in bursts rather than taking their time and spreading the energy over the course of the month. So when we look at your wealth card, it's all about integrity. Align your actions so that they match your values. The card's reversed. So what this means is you might have some challenges as far as working with people that may not follow all of the rules. And remember, part of the message this month is to try to adhere as much as possible to rules and regulations. So I would say with this, the warning and the opportunity is to make sure that other people do not pull you into their drama or into their indiscretions when it comes to breaking regulations, rules, etc. So this can also just include things like, going into a store and not paying for something, things like that. You want to disassociate yourself from someone that's doing that. And you don't need to try to change their ways. They're, at a certain point, people make decisions and there's ramifications for their decisions. Just don't get pulled into that sort of cycle. And for those of you that aren't experiencing that, it means maybe you're in a position of leadership and you have to make some difficult calls, or you have to make a decision on how you want to communicate something. Don't sacrifice your integrity. It's one thing that you really can't get back, and that's when you have to have that thought, that question of, is this worth risking everything? And if it isn't, then don't do it. It's pretty simple. Let's take a look at your love card, which can indicate both romantic relationships and also just interpersonal relationships with friends and family. So in regards to love, we have send love. This is a month to give more than receive. The card's reversed, which also shows that there could be a little bit of reluctancy from you to want to do that, but there is probably at least one person, if not a few in your life, that require more than you need this month. So give your time, give your energy, and know that, assuming that you have good reciprocity in that relationship, when you need it one day, they'll be there for you as well. But unconditional love doesn't even require a return on it. You just give love because it's there and you can do it. And it's, as long as you are resting and taking care of yourself, if someone just needs a listening ear, give it if you can do it this month. Let's take a look at your destiny for the month of January. And we have the Cosmos, which I love. And this goes really nicely with the Wheel of Fortune. This is a card of opportunity. And it says here, creativity and vastness. So I really feel like the sky is the limit. The interesting thing is I'm using different decks, but we're getting 4 a lot on this. So the 4th of the month and the 4th week of the month are going to be very powerful for you. So pay attention to those dates and be open to the energy that comes in on those dates. Let's go ahead and review everything, and we'll get into the exciting, even more exciting part, which is 2017. So, excuse me, I'll take a drink of water after I do this. But your center card is the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, which speaks really nicely to the whole idea of hidden blessings. Really focus on intuition this month. There's going to be a chance to develop that further. Your resources are going to be called into question. It looks like you've worked hard on establishing better habits and more opportunities. Also looks like you're in a place to be recognized, but for some reason, you're either not allowing that recognition to happen, or you're not spending time and energy wisely, so you're losing out on some opportunities. Bring that into balance if you can. And if you are in a place where you're not making enough money, it is a conversation you'll have to have with your boss. But I would wait. I really think you have to wait about 4 or 5 weeks for that sort of a conversation. The overall energy for this month is a struggle between what you think you know is right and what other people are trying to impose on you. So do your best to stay within the lines, but at some point, if you have to have a conversation, you want to try to be as even and neutral as possible. It's going to be challenging. I want you to try to talk to people or do some research to figure out how you can ease up this uncertainty about the future. The truth of the matter is things are not that grim. It's more about compromise, and I think that's going to be the key to success this month. As we expand the forecast, remembering to reduce toxins, particularly caffeine, it's going to help. If you're not drinking any caffeine, just make sure your sleep schedule is where it needs to be. Don't sacrifice integrity. Easy to sort of recap with just saying that. Give when you can this month, and if it can also be as simple as a donation. I think we're already past the deadline for IRS stuff. You should be doing this anyway just because you want to, but I talked about spiritual cleaning in another video this month. One thing you could do is remove things you don't need in your house anymore and give them to people that need it. There's a lot of ways to show love, even if you don't have sort of like the time and energy to do it with people in your life. You can help other people through acts of charity. And finally, I really think it would be important for you. I'm going to pull the camera up for a second so we can talk and be more personal. There are 3 cards here which are giving you one important message. Center card, wheel in reverse. Sorry, there was a little bit of glare on that. This card, which is about giving, and this card, which is about receiving and experiencing basically a ton of abundance. So if you could do a small donation to a charity, maybe the United Way or a charity of your choice, non-profit is really important, $1. Or if there's somebody that's taking donations or food or canned goods, it doesn't matter, something very small. But even if you're struggling with not being able to make ends meet, donate a penny. If there's some sort of like at Christmas time, there's the Santa Clauses and you can donate some spare change. 1 cent will help, or there's a homeless person, 1 cent. What it's going to do to the universe is basically say, I believe that more will come to me. You don't have to give away tons. It's something small. So if you listen to somebody, if you give them a single penny, or a dollar if you feel generous, and that act, it's like a vote of confidence that the universe understands now you're not holding on too tight. It's more will come your way. You don't have to spend a lot, and you don't have to actually give money. It can be any sort of resource, time, love, energy, volunteer work, anything. So you can show some sort of generosity and service, and more will come back to you. And it really looks like about a month out is when a lot of this opportunity will start to come through. I love that we have the Cosmos card. The Cosmos card to me also is about going way beyond the expected. So if there's something you've always loved but have been afraid to sort of explore, go for it. This is the time when the universe is saying, reach as high as possible. You're the only one that's putting limits on your possibilities, if that makes sense. Okay, so overall, pretty exciting month for you, and I see some changes that need to happen. They don't always feel easy, though. That's why we were seeing that blockage with the Wheel of Fortune. But I feel like it's absolutely something that you can navigate. So let me turn the camera down, and we're going to get ready for the 2017 year at a glance here. And we're just doing 4 cards, like I said, because I think that's going to be enough to give you flavor for the year. And if you really want a longer reading, you can reach out to me, and I still do 12 card readings to indicate each month, or a month by month reading. All right, so let's go ahead now and cut this into 4. Looks pretty good. Okay, and I'm also going to pull a Karma card and a Destiny card for this. Karma being the blessings and the baggage that you bring from the past. And let's see here for your Destiny. I'm going to use this one here. It's midnight here, that's why you can hear that. And I am working on New Year's for you guys here, so sorry about the explosions out there. Okay, interesting that as we heard fireworks, I got the volcano. All right, so looking at the opportunity, there is going to be some changes, and possibly uncomfortable changes for you this year, because the volatility card or the volcano card comes through when you can't really control all the ups and downs. There may be some losses, but there's also going to be some gains. I want you to focus on, like we talked about earlier, the hidden blessings and the opportunities. And you're going to have to be more comfortable with some level of ambiguity this year. That's what that card is saying. When we look at the blessings from the past, I feel like you've done a lot to foster good relationships with people in your life. The card was reversed, which means that you may not be aware of what your potential is, or your own sort of ability to shine, and I want you not to mute your own light. The other thing with this, though, is some of you may I did mention a lot about donations. So for those of you that aren't experiencing any sort of financial hardship, this card is basically encouraging you to take the focus from yourself and put it back out to the world. Because the sun, if you think about it, it's a card that provides for everyone. Like the sun as an object, it's cohesive, it pulls everything together, and it gives life and it gives love. So you want to give back a little bit. Enough said on that. Okay, so for the first 3 months of the year, from January through March, we have the Nine of Cups. Great card to start the year off with. It actually shows a flowing of abundance around you. Lots of opportunities, lots of love, a lot to be grateful for. The only thing that is a little bit challenging with the Nine of Cups is it's not a card of balance. It's usually super high or super low, and that really speaks to the volatility card that we heard. So over the course of the first 3 months, you want to focus on not feeling too bad if there's a setback and not getting too confident when things go really, really well. You want to sit somewhere in the middle and think, oh, that was good. I'm happy that happened, or that's that's unfortunate, but try not to think, oh my God, the world is ending, or woohoo. Like there's got to be some in between, and you want to ride in between, and then you're going to pull the energy in a little bit. If you go too high or too low, then you sort of pull the whole curve out of whack, okay? So you really want to be as neutral as possible. Things start to get a little bit better come April, May, and June. We have the World card in reverse. Much like the Wheel of Fortune, it still holds positive connotations. With the reversal of the World card, this is speaking to an unexpected or an uncontrollable shift when it comes to a place that you might be living, or travel in your life. You might have to travel a little bit more for your job, or it can also mean a delay in delivery. So that's a very broad term, because for me, the World card can show basically broadcasting and distribution. So if you have any sort of personal business or something in your life where you share with people, this is saying you'll have to work harder at planning for distribution during these months. And that's about it. I would say for some of you, there's a reluctancy to be seen as much as you might want to be in the past. So more of a little bit of a hermit coming through in this card as well. So April, May, and June may just feel a little bit more uncomfortable when it comes to public speaking, public appearances, but you might have to do it anyway. So just do your best, smile, and kind of like fake it until you succeed on that. And I think you will. You come into your own in the latter part of the year, from July, August, and September. Really good months for you to focus on signing new contracts. The public speaking will be easier for you. Communication and marketing is going to be a lot easier. You're also going to feel like you have a hold on your life. So if you felt this sort of instability at the beginning of the year, I really think by the end of September, things are fine again. So even, maybe even a little bit earlier on. But by the time you get to September, things should start to even out and you'll be in control of your life again. Or feeling like you're not questioning what's around the corner. The very last 3 months of the year, October, November, and December, this is when there could be some challenges with relationships. So either you meet someone out of the blue and you're not ready for it, or if you're in an existing relationship, your partner is going to possibly need more from you than you want, or may want to separate. There's going to be a little bit of tension. This is something you can work through, because this is still a very positive card, Two of Cups. So even though your World card, your Wheel of Fortune, and your Two of Cups were all reversed, inherently they're good cards. Like if I see other cards which are a little tricky, sometimes whether upright or reversed, they have challenging connotations. These don't. I think you'll be okay. But it does mean that there's going to be a focus on relationship and relationship building, and really spending more time with family if you have family, or if you're working really close with a business partner, making sure that you take time to listen to them or go out to lunch or develop the dynamics of the relationship a little bit. So I'll quickly review, but I think it's a great year overall for you. As we mentioned, trying to avoid extremes from January through March, being grateful for the positive aspects and not getting too pulled down when there's something that doesn't go your way. You're going to have to come out of your shell a little bit between April and June. Probably some public speaking or traveling that you're not looking for, but that's coming your way anyway. I think it's going to lead to success, however. And when you're more comfortable, you may not have to do this from July through September. Good time to execute contracts, to start new businesses, to start new relationships, to propose. Everything is really positive here from July through September. That's sort of your magic period. As we look at October through December, challenges when it comes to interpersonal relationships and love relationships, but not to the point that you can't overcome them. Remembering this year to give when you can and not to panic too much with the uncertainty. So that's really everything in a nutshell. I hope that was helpful for you. Overall, I think you've got some great opportunities, and with the 4 cards and the 4 quarters, there's nothing here that's coming through as something that you can't handle. I think you're ready for it. So I hope this was helpful. If you ever want a private reading, I'll post the link in the corner, and you can always check my rates and availability for that. To stay in touch, the easiest way to do so is just to subscribe here. But if you don't like to do that, I have a newsletter, and I always announce when the videos come out each month. So that's a great way to stay in touch. I'm also on social networks, including Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So whatever feels good, as little or as much as you want to stay in touch, I'm there for you. And finally, and most importantly, I hope that everybody has found what they needed from this video, and you're ready for the new year. There's nothing to worry about from what I can see, and we look at everything from month to month anyway, because a lot changes with free will and a lot of the world events as well. So just take it one day at a time. Thank you so much for your support, your cooperation, your collaboration, and for basically the likes and the subscribes every month. It really does help keep me motivated. So keep that up, and take care of yourselves. I'll see you again next month. Bye-bye.